Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sports Kathi. Today's episode, we bring to you some tennis news. Finally, there are only 4 events in tennis that we really keenly look forward to, all the 4 Grand Slams. And finally, after all the Masters tournaments, we have our clay Grand Slam, the Rolland Garros, back in action, which has just started as we speak. All our favorite players, this time with Roger Federer making a comeback after his Australian Open in 2020 as well, are going to feature in this year's Grand Slam. There is only, I think, Stan Wawrinka, the key player that I can think of, who's missing out from the top players list. Otherwise, I think most of your fans will be featuring. So do take a look at the fixtures and figure out who's going to play whom as soon as you can. And that's exactly what we want to do today. We want to give you a small idea about what games to expect, what are the top players who can make it to the finals, and most importantly, what has been the talk of the town as we go into the Rolland Garros. I'm sure all headlines have been about Naomi Osaka's decision to not come and make herself available for press conferences. But keeping the news off the court aside, I think focusing on the women's draw, it's going to be very interesting if Ashley Barty can continue her good form at the top of the seeds and make it to the semifinals to retain her record 72 weeks at the WTA #1 ranking. The only way I see that changing is if Naomi Osaka makes it to the final, defeating, and probably winning it to dethrone her and get the #1 ranking for herself. But otherwise, Serena Williams is, of course, back in action in Paris. She will be trying to get her 24th Grand Slam. And we've all heard news about, Rafael Nadal training with Iga Swiatek on the practice court. So I hope she has a great tournament as well. Sabalenka seems to be coming into the tournament with some great form in the ATP Masters leading up to the French Open. And I hope she can feature in some key battles leading up to the finals. But I think most of the talk really leading into this French Open has been dominated by the men's draw, especially the fact that Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, all 3 are in the same half. So potentially you're looking at 2 finals before the real final itself, because we are expecting, if the seeds draw out the way they do, Nadal might have to play the winner of Roger Federer and Djokovic in the quarterfinals, in the semis, to make it to his final and get to the throne of the maximum Grand Slam holders at surpassing Roger Federer's record. More of what to expect, I think Vaishakh has prepared a list of upcoming talent that some of the names you may not have heard, but might be in the news in the weeks to come. So do hear what Vaishakh has to talk about the upcoming talented players. And he will be also walking us through the first half of the draw, what to expect in the first section. And then Rohit will, of course, talk about the finalists and, of course, who might really win the Rolland Garros. So over to you, Vaishakh.
Nice, good introduction to the French Open. So I'm just naming the upcoming stars. If people who are the fan favorites like Nadal and Djokovic and Federer, the people who are trying to jump the ship, they might be a bit more, bit more familiar with names like Medvedev, Rublev, or Tsitsipas, or Thiem, Zverev. Thiem especially because he won the Grand Slam as well. So these are the stars which you should be looking forward for. There are a few key battles. You can see some upcoming stars like Aslan Karatsev, who has not been talked about much, but he will be also playing Schwartzman in the 3rd round. And he's someone to watch out for. As well as there's a 20-year-old guy called as Felix Auger, a Canadian. I'm really looking forward for him as well. I would also like to give a shout to Casper Ruud, who's a 22-year-old Norwegian. So these are the few names that you should be watching out for. And let's see what happens. So what do you take from the quarterfinals, Rohit?
Coming to quarterfinals, I was going through the draw and I was trying to see, what are the key matchups that can come in. And, it was very easy to go through the seedings, but I thought, let me see by what's the current performance. So my predictions are going with more of current performance and current form. So in the first quarter, we have Djokovic. So he will be one of the quarterfinalists, and he will most probably meet Berrettini, Matteo Berrettini in the quarterfinals. Now, this will not be, the Federer fans here will not be happy about it, but I really think Matteo Berrettini is a good enough player, and he has recently shown good form, and we don't know what form Federer is going to be in. So I expect Matteo Berrettini versus Djokovic in the first quarters. In the second quarters, I expect obviously Nadal to make it through. That is his side of the draw. So he'll come through as one of the quarterfinalists. And his opponent will be Andy Rublev. And Andrei Rublev, one thing which I want to mention is that, personally, I feel he is someone who can actually trouble Nadal. A good challenger for the trophy itself. Yes, it's unfortunate that he has to meet someone like Nadal in the quarterfinals itself. I really feel that's going to be a titanic match. So that would be my second quarterfinals. The third one is I've gone for Zverev versus Thiem. Zverev is having one of the easiest draws in the entire tournament. When I looked at the draw and I saw that what's in front of him, I think for Zverev it's a walkover. At the best, I think he might meet Nishikori in the fourth round maybe. But even then, he has better record against him. So okay, so Zverev versus Thiem is the one quarterfinals. Now I just want to mention one part of what is Zverev's draw is extremely easy. I just explained that. But Thiem doesn't have such a straightforward draw. And the second part is Thiem is not in the best form also, because he after his US Open win has been on and off. Then he had to take a break. There was a bit of injury rumors going around. So he has not been in the best form. He has not won anything recently. So for me, Thiem would be an interesting match. And Vaishakh did mention a name called Casper Ruud. And I really expect maybe that Thiem Casper Ruud match in I think third or fourth round. That would be an interesting matchup, and maybe who knows, maybe Thiem might not even make it to quarters. But anyways, I'm going safer bet. Thiem is one of the best players in clay, so I go Zverev versus Thiem as my third quarterfinalist. Now to the last quarter. Last quarter, the first half is going to go for Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas is the favorite there. He has a reasonably good draw. I would expect him to just go through there and get into the quarters. Tsitsipas there. The other part of the quarter is where Medvedev sits, the world number 2. But the thing with Medvedev, as he told recently in the interview also, that he told that because initially sometime back he told that he doesn't like to play in clay court, which I don't know whether he publicly come and tell that when you're world number 2. But he recently came and told that he's actually motivated to play in this tournament. So I really hope he can drive up that motivation. But even then, I don't expect him to go much further than maybe a second round or third round. Even his first round opponent might be tricky. He's playing at world number 38. It can be tricky for a first rounder. So Medvedev, I do not expect him to make it to the quarters. So my prediction for the quarters from that part is by paper, I would like to go with Dimitrov. So I'm gone with Dimitrov, but I have a small feeling there is an American kid called Riley Opelka, who's a very interesting kid, and he is American, but he likes to play in clay court. So he might be an outside chance to make it to the quarters. But for me, now I'm keeping Tsitsipas and Dimitrov. Let's go with what is the ranking saying. So those are my quarterfinalists for now. And going into semis, I would expect Djokovic and Nadal to make it to the semis from the first half. So that's predictable. And Zverev to overcome Thiem or whoever that is opponent is, and Tsitsipas to come. So Zverev, Tsitsipas play the second semis. So that's my semis, and I expect Tsitsipas to play the finals against Djokovic. My head says Nadal every time, but I think I'm a Djokovic fan, so I say Djokovic, and Djokovic eventually win the Grand Slam. So that's my prediction. I know the opinions might change because I am a Djokovic biased person. So Vaishakh and Bhanu, off to you. Vaishakh, who do you think will make it to the finals?
My idea is that, it's possible that Zverev might make it because I like to see Zverev making it because he's a Bayern fan. Apart from that, I am a Nadal fan, so I know who's going to win. I have already decided it in my head.
Wow, fantastic. I'm going to keep biases aside like my other two friends and bring the experts' opinion to the panel. But honestly, jokes aside, I think Nadal, there is no stopping him. So he makes it from the first half. And I'm just going to go by my gut feeling. My support for Tsitsipas has been there from the first time he came with his long hair. I really like the guy. Federer really likes him, so I like him even more. So I really think Tsitsipas will go into the finals with Nadal. And let's hope we have a great French Open. Keep your comments flowing for us. Let us know who do you think will be the players that we should watch out for if we have missed any players from your country that might be playing and you are looking after. Please let us know. And most importantly, do like and subscribe to our channel for more updates about sports from all over the world. We will be back soon with a good episode. Until then, we hope you all take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.